Good day, everyone. My name is Bea Llavore. Together with my co-reporter, Ms. Makatagay, we'll be discussing to you the topic 11, which is the general guidelines in writing short answer items and general guidelines in writing essay test. But before we proceed, allow me first to read to you our objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students can first define the short-term answer and essay test. Second is to analyze general guidelines in constructing short-term and essay form of test. Last is to create their own short-term and essay test. So my part is to discuss to you the general guidelines in writing short answer items. So, a short-term items requires the learners to answer a question or to finish an incomplete statement by filling in the blank with the correct word or phrases. So, in short, the short-term items, it is what we call the fill in the blanks, whereas the students need to fill in the right or the correct answer in the blank. So, it is putting the right or the exact answer on the blank or what is asked in the statement. So next, it is most appropriate when you only intend to assess learners' lower level of thinking. So like the lower level of thinking, we have the remembering, we have the recalling. So just like for example, recalling, so it assesses students to recall what they learn inside the classroom, the knowledge they learn inside the classroom, and through that you can create items that minimize the guessing and also the relevant clause to the correct answer. So here's the general guidelines in writing a good fill in the blank question or the completion test item. So first, omit only significant words from the statement. So meaning, in writing or constructing and fill in the blank question, we should always remember to omit only what is relevant words, what is the most significant word from the statement. So just like for example, so in the first item, every atom has a central blank called a nucleus. In the second item, every atom has a central curl called a blank. So why the item 1 is considered as faulty structure and why the item 2 is considered as the good structure. So faulty, it is faulty because in item number 1, the word core is not the significant word in the phrase. And also the item is also prone to many and varied interpretations that will result to many possible answers of the students. That is why it is a faulty structure, unlike to the second item, which is good because it omits the most significant word from the statement, which is the nucleus, while in the first item it omits the or leave out the unrelevant word from the statement. So that's we need to consider or we need to remember every time we are making the fill in the blank questions. So next, do not omit too many words from the statement such that the intended meaning is lost. Yes, definitely, because the too much blank in one statement will lead to confusion of the students, and also it will make the statement not intended to what you want to ask. So it is very hard to read between the lines. So just like for example, so in the item 1, blank is to Spain, blank as the is to United States, and blank is to Germany. While second item is Madrid is to Spain as the blank is to France. So by just looking at the example, you can already state or see where is the good structure and where is not a good structure of fill in the blank question. It is because the item number 1, yeah, it is prone to many and varied answers. So just like for example, the students may answer the question based on the capital of these countries or based on what is continent this country are located. While on the other hand, in item number 2, it is much preferred because it is more specific and required only one answer to the correct answer in the question. So that is why it is also important to remember in making the fill in the blank question that we should not omit too many words from the statement because it will lead to the loss of the intended meaning of your statement or phrase. So next, three is to avoid obvious clues to the correct response. Yes, because what is the essence of making the fill in the blank question if you already put the correct answer, if you already give the clue of the correct answer from the question itself. So just like for example, in the item 1, Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law in 1972. So who was the president during that period? Next, the president during the martial law last year was blank. So in here, the item number 1 already gives the clue that Ferdinand Marcos was the president during that time because the president is the only one who can declare the martial law, while on the other item it is not giving a clue to the question. So that is why giving a clues to the question is not advisable in making the fill in the blanks, because what is the essence of making fill in the blanks if you already put the correct answer in the question itself? So next, so be sure that there is only one correct response. Yes, because it's hard to answer fill in the blank test if there are so many possible answer. Just like for example, the government should start using renewable energy sources for generating electricity such as blank. So next, the government should start using renewable sources of energy by using turbines called blank. So, in item number 1, there has so many possible answers because the statement is very general. It is very broad. So, just like for example, the students will answer here the wind, the solar, the biomass, also the geothermal and hydroelectric power. So, in item number 2, it is more advisable or much preferred because it is more specific compared to the first item, and it only requires one correct answer. And it is also very important in writing the fill in the blank question. Be sure that it has only one correct answer and not be general, be specific on your question. Next is avoid grammatical clause to the correct response. So, as much as possible, when you are making the fill in the blank question, you need to check first your grammar because it might affect the question, the meaning of your question or your phrase. So, just like for example, a subatomic particle with a negative electric charge is called an blank. So next is a subatomic particle with a negative electric charge is called a blank. So the the word "and" here in item number 1 is provide the clause that the correct answer start with letter A or vowel. So it should be corrected. So when we are making the fill in the blank, we should see to it that our grammar is correct. So next is the if possible, put the blank at the end of the statement rather than at the beginning. It is because, or as much as possible, yet put the blank at the end and not in the first line of your statement because it will add confusion to the students who read the question. Just like, for example, here, blank is the basic building black matter, and another is the basic building black matter is blank. So in the item number 1, the learners may need to read the sentence until the end of the sentence so they can before they can recognize what is the problem asked here, and then they need to reread it again and then answer the question. And on the other hand, on the item number 2, the learners can already identify the context of the problem by reading through the sentence only once and without having to go back to the to the question itself. So it is very important that in making the fill in the blank question, we need to, or as much as possible, put the blank at the end of your statement, not in the first line of their statement, because it will add confusion to the students and it will lost what is the intended meaning of your question to the student. So that's the general guidelines in writing the short-term items or the completion test. So that's all about my part.
Good day everyone, my name is Jonah by Makatagay and my report is about general guidelines in writing essay test. So first, what is essay test? It's an item which requires a response composed by the examinee, usually in the form of one or more sentences, of a nature that no single response or pattern of responses can be listed as correct, and the accuracy and quality of which can be judged subjectively only by one skilled or informed in the subject. So essay test, it is a required response or answer from the respondent, and it composes sentences or paragraph, and there's have no correct or specific response because it allows to give opinion and ideas. So next is um, teachers generally choose and employ essay tests over other forms of assessment because essay tests require learners to create response rather than to simplify select response from among the alternatives. Because essay tests are designed to showcase students' abilities to provide specific information and enhance their thinking skills. Also, there are the preferred form of assessment when teachers want to measure learners' higher order thinking skills, particularly their ability to reason and analyze. They also learners' writing abilities, and they are the most appropriate for assessing learners. First, the understanding of subject matter content. Second, ability to reason with their knowledge of the subject. And third, problem solving and decision skills. Because some of the content or situation presented in the test are authentic or close to real life experience. There's have two uh, types of essay test. First, the extended response, and second, restricted response test. First, what is extended response? It is required much longer and conflict response. Um, for example, how do the leopard and tiger differ? So for your answer, which details and information from article. So extended response is requires and longer complex response. Um, Extended response is a need of full details of information and allows students to express their own idea, interrelationship, and use their own strategy for organization. And second is the restricted response. It's much more focused and restrained. For example, Tina is preparing for demonstration to play at her school's science fair. She needs to show the effect of salt on the buoyancy of egg. And part A, identify at least two or other action that would make Tina's demonstration better. Part B, explain why each action will improve the demonstration. So here in restricted response, that usually limits both the content and response. You need to give the specific answer or response, but it allows students to express the answer in their own words. So, next, there have general guidelines in constructing good essay question. First, clearly define the intended learning outcomes to be assessed by the essay test. Here, to design effective essay question or proves that specific intended learning outcomes are intended, identified para ma-test din yung mga students kung sino yung magaling umintindi at madaling mag-analyze ng bawat tanong. So, number 2, refrain from using essay tests for intended learning outcomes that are better assessed by other kinds of assessment. Here, some intended learning outcomes can be efficiently and reliably assessed by selecting type test rather than by essay test. Kasi, bawat estudyante meron silang kanya-kanyang abilidad. Meron itong ibang magaling sa explanation, meron ding ibang magaling sa memorization at familiarization. Number 3, clearly define and situate the task within a problem situation as well as the type of thinking required to answer the test. So, number 3 is essay question or prompts should provide clear and well-defined text to the learners. Para mas lalong maintindihan ng learners kung kailangan wag mo nang pahabain yung tanong sa test. Mag-focus na lang dun sa mismong exact na question para mas madali nilang construct yung kanilang mga sagot. Number 4, present tasks that are fair, reasonable, and realistic to the students. Here is essay questions should contain tasks or question that student will be able to do or address. Dapat gumawa ka ng ang essay is tama din, dapat lahat ng nilalaman. Number 5, be specific in the prompts about the time allotment and criteria for grading the response. So here in the number 5, essay proofs and direction should indicate the approximate time given to the students para makasagot, para magabayan sila kung gaano ba kahaba ang oras ng kanilang pagsagot sa bawat item. So yun lang po.
Hi, it's me again, Llavore, and today I'm going to discuss the advantage of essay questions. So first, essay question assessed higher order or critical thinking skills. Because it allows students to think critically, it allows students to dig deeper, it allows students to think logically in order to answer the essay question, in order to support their ideas, in order to organize their ideas. They need to think critically. They need to think beyond their control so that they can make a good essay. Next advantage is it evaluates students' thinking and reasoning, because essay writing test is allowing students, or it allows students to reason out, to give their ideas, to show their ideas, and also to organize their ideas. It allows students to argue, to support their arguments so that they can have a good form of essay. Next advantage is it provides the authentic experience. It is allowing students to think about their thinking. It allowing students to reflect their learning, to connect their learning or knowledge inside the classroom to the real world, to connect their ideas inside the classroom or learning inside the classroom to the problem in their society, issues in their society, and application to their society. So that's the importance of essay question. First, it allows the students to think critically about their thinking, it evaluates their reasoning, and also it allows them to reflect to their learning inside the classroom, but also in their environment where they belong. So next is the limitations of essay question. So first, it assessed a limited sample of range of content. So it is because in writing the essay, you need to be specific. You should always inline your answer to the question or to the content of the essay question, so that you can make a good structure of essay. And you don't need to put some flowering words inside your essay. You should be specific always, based on facts, the ideas. So you should organize your ideas also. And next is the essay are difficult and time consuming to grade. Yes, it is very difficult and time consuming to grade for a teacher, because as a teacher you need to always read the output of your students, especially if it is essay. You need to grade them according to what they pass to you, not in who you know. So you need to really grade them according to the criteria of the essay question. So next, it provide practice in for and unpolished writing. Yes, this is also the reason why other students dislike the essay question or answering the essay. It is because some teacher require the essay to be handwritten, not in type. So that's why it would be hard for the students who is not that good in writing. So this is the limitation of essay question. Next, let's move on to the misconceptions of the essay question. So first, it assesses the higher order or critical thinking skills regardless of how they wrote or how they are written. So it allows students to think critically, logically, so especially on how they write and construct their essay. So next is, essay questions are easy to construct. Yes, it is easy to construct, but it is really hard to answer, right? Because in answering the essay, you need a lot of knowledge in order for you to support the ideas to writing the essay. So next, the use of essay question eliminates the problem of guessing. Yes, because in essay question, we are not guessing what is the right answer, what is the correct or exact answer to that question, but instead we are assessed to think logically, to think critically, in order for us to answer our essay or to construct the essay good. We need to organize our ideas, we need to support our ideas, we need to organize our arguments so that we can make a good essay. So next, essay question benefit all students by placing emphasis on the importance of written communication skills, because yes, it is true, because students are diverse, so they are also different in the mode of learnings, and some students are good in verbal, some students learn in verbal or in vocal, but other students are good or excel in writing or in written works. That is why it give emphasis to the written communication skills, because some students are very creative, innovative in writing an essay form, because that's the way where they can express their ideas and opinions about a certain topics. So next, essay question encourage students to prepare more thoroughly. Yes, exactly. It is really what we need as a students while answering the essay question. We need to prepare thoroughly. We need to search, we need to read and read, and we need to brainstorm our ideas so that we can support our ideas, we can construct a good essay, we can make a good essay if we prepare it thoroughly. But if we are not, so we cannot support our ideas with just our own opinions. That's why in essay we need to support our idea based on facts. So that's all about our report, and thank you so much for listening.